Hello, CfA Summit. Wow, these really are bright. I'm Jessie. I'm a fellow this year in the city of Chicago working with John and his team there. And I'm BoundsJ on Twitter. And I think this is one of the most popular animations, keynote animations today, so I've seen. And I'm going to talk about Open 311 and 311 applications that we've worked on this year at Code for America. So first of all, in case you're not already aware, 311 is a system that really aggregates and consolidates contact information for city services in one easy-to-use number. So you can call 311 to ask the city to fill a pothole in front of your house. Open 311 is a layer that sits on top of that system and allows computer systems to talk back and forth with one another about this kind of service request data. It enables people to build applications like the pothole application that I think was on a slide here earlier today that everyone loves, to kind of submit that pothole request for service via this mobile app. I'm representing, in particular, Angel, Zach, Rob, Ben, and Mick. These are fellows that have worked really hard in this space this year, but really kind of everyone in the Code for America network and extended network that really cares about open standards and creating interoperable cities. But why do we care about interoperable cities and buzzwords like that? Why do we care about building this platform? I think it has a lot to do with underlining service and service requests, and really customer service. If we look at the kinds of applications that a lot of us are used to using these days for tracking services, everything from packages to pizzas to now limousines and taxis can be tracked with these really intuitive, easy-to-use applications. So this is customer service, and government should be able to do exactly this. So I didn't come up with this idea on my own. I'm just a code monkey, and I don't think about the long view and the big picture. I'm down in the internals. But this guy does, and they say his name is Ram, and he's something to do with the city of Chicago. He's the mayor, right, John? Okay, yeah. We were lucky enough to meet with him earlier this year for a short period of time, but he conveyed a really important message to me and my team. And I think it's this notion of service request, and he's not someone that cares a lot about civic data going back and forth between two computer systems across the wire. He cares about great customer service for the people in his city. We built 311 Labs as a platform for doing experiment-driven development. And this was really a chance for us to poke and prod at the Open 311 API and learn about how it works and basically how we can use it to implement Ram's vision. So under that banner, and I don't have time to go into all the applications, there are a number of them under the 311 Labs flag now. But I think as we're looking at them here, as I'm paging through them, there's a couple of common themes. I think there's a huge element of reusability. They're beautifully designed and easy to use. To the best of our ability, they reflect data accurately in the city. And I think also importantly, they weren't built in a bubble. We spent a lot of time working with our city partners, working with communities of people in Chicago and all over the world, really, to help us understand how people really want to see and consume this kind of civic data. We also learned about some of the shortcomings of the API, of the Open 311 protocol as it exists today. There are many. There's one I want to call it in particular, which is really the inability of the API nationally as it stands right now to complete that service request feedback loop that we were looking at before in those applications. So we worked really hard with our city partners, with John and the vendors in Chicago to augment the Open 311 specification to help solve that problem, to allow it to kind of bring forth the details of where these service requests are internally in the city and get them out on the wire. So again, with these kinds of applications in mind, we kind of moved from a situation like this, and this isn't really the fault of this particular service request tracker. It's from a different city, but the problem that it has is it's just kind of held hostage by the existing API, which only allows you to see if a status exists or not, and if it's open or closed. So there's a lot more information in there. And with the improvements we've made to the Open 311 API in Chicago, you can literally now track service requests in that city like you would a package or a pizza. So it's really kind of closing that technology gap, at least in this one small but important way that we've all talked a lot about. So I think, in summary, I would say that building these kinds of platforms, these interoperable, programmable cities, is really a massive undertaking and one that's really only just begun. And I personally feel that Open 301 is just kind of a few initial steps along that long path. But what we're really talking about here is an infrastructure project, and I think it's an infrastructure project that governments are particularly well suited at dealing with, which is awesome. It's also a problem that's really important. There are people, and John can tell you, there are people in the community in Chicago that are really talented and eager and willing to work and build great applications on top of platforms like these today. I think it's really important to keep that in mind, to use the work that we've done on 311 Labs and these applications and our successes and our failures building them as a call to action to continue on with this really important work to make real-time, scalable, and most importantly, accurate data portals in your cities, connect the communities that care to them with them, and I think if this is done, the results will be stunning. Thanks.